Hey, this is James at Backyard Hydroponics. Just wanted to give a quick tour of our 20 by 10 hydroponic greenhouse. We got a 30 bucket Dutch bucket system with a 75-gallon reservoir right there in the back. This season we started off with tomatoes mainly on this side and cucumbers over here. What happened with the cucumbers was we didn't really like how much we had to do with pollinating. We had them growing great. They grew all the way up. We had them going across the top. Harvested well over 100 cucumbers, but it was just too much work with pollinating each one. We basically had no free time, and it was already enough to have to prune, and we just decided it was too much. We harvested what we were happy with. We took them out. We're going to use this time to clean all the buckets. Right now we still have this one tomato growing over here. It's probably going to be coming down to the next couple days. This one will be out of here. As all these, we will pull all these, harvest this up, get them out, and then replant our next batch, which we already have germinating in our, right now it's in its middle stage, which is out of the grow cubes and into a smaller DWC, which I'll post videos of later on, but we'll get there. What happens with this system is it's basically got a supply line and a drain line. What happens is water gets pumped from the reservoir, which I'll show you. We have it covered with this blanket here to try and keep some heat out. So in here we got our main reservoir. Big pipe's the drain line. This is the drain line for this side. Now what's happening is the water is draining from those buckets and coming back here. We have an air stone that's connected with this one pump down there, giving it airflow. It's really not necessary, but it's just something I like to have in there. The water's already moving with this, so it's not necessary, but I like it, so it's staying. We check it with the probes all the time. pH levels, we do manually. I don't like the probes. They're expensive. I bought expensive ones, I bought cheap ones. They're all about the same, so I choose just to use a liquid, just like you would in the pool. I did find this little system here for 70 bucks on Amazon. I don't even think it was 70. And it has a probe that could stay in there and monitors everything. A lot of people said it would come out of pH range, but I haven't had a problem with it. It pretty much matches up almost exactly with our manual strips, maybe off by 0.1, but that's something I'm not too worried about. Gives you the ECs, the pHs, temperatures, humidity, and it's just this little probe. And it gets to stay in there all the time. It's connected to Wi-Fi, so I can monitor it with an app on my phone. Right now everything's a little high. I gotta add some water. We've had a couple hot days. We lost some with evaporation, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. The water pump's pumping it up to these lines. What happens is it goes through the supply lines right here, hits these, basically is just a splitter, and emits it to the two hoses. This is what you'll be looking like inside. This one's a little high. I'll have to do some tweaking to that, but it's still draining like it should, and everything's looking good in there. Here's another one. This is what it will look like with nothing in there. We started pulling these already, so this is pretty much it. It will drain down the pipe right there in the little hole you make. The bucket just sits in it, drains down and back into the tank. I leave it running 24/7, and it's been working great. A little bit more of what you'll be looking at is in here. Now the roots don't look exactly white. That's okay. This is basically just nutrient stain. The roots are healthy. You got air roots growing. This plant's pretty happy. I'm happy. At the end of here, we have a little drain here. This helps me make sure the system's clean. I'll drain it every couple of days. Just drain out about a gallon just to get any gut that's built up in there. And it's been working great. We have two fans. They'll blow in this direction to our exhaust fan over there. Keeps it, basically the temperature is outside. We've pretty much been in a heat wave here. hit 95 degrees in here, but can't really complain. These are the trellises we've created, essentially. I used a wire rope kit used for hanging string lights to get them to go all the way across, tightened it up. It's been working great. Created a lot of these just to hold the plants. It will look a lot like this. So you tie it up to the string, clip it on, and you keep growing. So these are actually Brandywine tomatoes. I never grew them before, figured I'd try, and we've harvested them multiple times, and they get pretty big and they're really nice, and we really like them. Some cherry tomatoes, they're getting pretty big. We have some jelly bean tomatoes, and then just more cherry tomatoes for the most part. You can see them growing everywhere. We started to really prune this down as we've harvested from it a lot, and we just want to swap it out. So we'll probably be pruning it all out, taking out the rest, and real shortly. These are just some DWCs. This corn is a complete failure. I wouldn't really call it a complete failure, but didn't really like the way it was going, so I took everything out of it. And then we got sidetracked by everything in here, so that's why this whole thing's pretty much a big mess. But we'll be getting it done, cleaned out. Once we take everything out, we'll clean it all out, blow everything out. This is the DWC for tomatoes. It was basically, what happened was I just over germinated, and everything worked out, and we actually have a greenhouse over there that's pretty much filled with tomatoes in a buckets that look exactly like that. Now that's something I usually use in between when it's in its initial germination phase and it can't go to a big system yet. This is pretty much what I would use, but I grew too many and I ended up just leaving them in there and throwing them in the other greenhouse, and we've been taking tomatoes from that. It's crazy to think that I was able to grow all those tomato plants in one bucket like that, but it worked. This is basically the root system for all of these. Just an aerator in there coming from that air pump. The roots, once again, they're actually super healthy. They're just nutrient stained, which is completely fine. We use the Flora series, Flora Bloom, Flora Grow, and Flora Micro. Flora Micro is what gives it that tint. So that's all that is. We have lights stringed up. We haven't had to use them, obviously, especially on this side, and especially over here. We did use them for the beginning, but honestly, they're just stuck there, and I don't see the point of taking them out. It does look really nice at night when they're all on, though. And that's about it. On my next video, I'll probably be going over my middle stage, where I use something like this to go from the rockwool, small germination rockwool stage into this. It's great for pulling the roots down. I really don't like leaving them in the trays for as long as it's really recommended. So this is what I do instead, and it works great. I'll make a video about that next. All right, have a good day.